Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening around the world. My name is Doug Bruntke. I am the founder and CEO of Global Chamber today in Los Angeles, sunny Los Angeles. And part of the beginning of this conversation was really built off of the Global Chamber Los Angeles chapter, a very active group of folks. I believe Jeff Dar will be on soon, and I see
Oh, I'm here,
Anita.
Doug.
Oh, thanks, Jeff. We'll let you kick off with some comments. Also, we've got Elizabeth. I saw Anita, and there's others joining. And so the chapter is very active. And one of the things that is very clear about Los Angeles is that it's very global. One of the most global cities around the world. And certainly one of the connections, the important connections, is Israel, is Tel Aviv. And so we thought it'd be cool to get a cross metro going between Tel Aviv and Los Angeles, and then involve some other cities. New York may not be part of this one, although there may be some members and participants from New York. We'll do that at a later date. We've also included Chicago, Shanghai, and Phoenix and London. And so I think we'll probably hear from each one of those cities. Jeff, do you want to maybe just do a quick kickoff in terms of your thoughts around business with Israel? And then I know you've collected some information as well about trade between Los Angeles and Israel.
Sure, and thank you, Doug. I'm Jeff Dar, head of the advisory board for our growing, young, but very growing and very vibrant Los Angeles, sort of Southern California chapter of Global Chamber. So as you may have noticed, we're getting more and more into overdrive, but we're doing lots of activities and we have lots of people volunteering and engaged, which includes a lot of you. I just want to give a quick also shout out to Claire, who's I'm not going to talk about Shanghai, which I could because I do a lot of work in China. It's fantastic to have you join us, Claire, today. Always great to see you. So thank you. So real quick, a couple of things that I'm going to keep it really short. So other than keep an eye out for what we're doing in Los Angeles, we're doing in-person, virtual, we have active programs in the works and much, much more, lots more to come. So just a couple of things. We all know that putting aside current time, Israel population is under 10 million, to my knowledge. Just a couple ideas of California and Los Angeles in particular. In 2022, last I could find good statistics, California exported just under $2 billion to Israel, making it the state's 19th largest export partner, which was a big increase from the 24th rank in the year before in 2021. And then for Los Angeles, imports from Israel to California in 2022 were just about 1.55 billion US dollars. Most of that was computer and electronic products and manufactured commodities. And the thing that is maybe the most noteworthy is in Los Angeles alone, my understanding is we have more than 250,000 Israelis who live here. I believe someone may know better that that's the largest Israeli population outside of Israel anywhere in the world. So Los Angeles has a true connection, both literally and its people, with Israel. And I've always had close working relationships with a number of, I'm a lawyer, so I do international transactions and disputes. So I've always had long time close relationships for 20 plus years with some of the most skilled attorneys in Israel. So I've worked with quite a few and have a lot of experience. And so in Los Angeles, Israel, putting aside culturally, business 100%, and just our own population makes it very close and unique, which is why today was very fitting. And Tal may have other statistics, but that's my quick intro. So thank you, everybody. And I look forward to us also discussing London, our forward partners there, and of course Chicago and Phoenix.
Fantastic. And we'll have speakers from each city and we'll go around the room. So everybody here, feel free to either during the city focus points, make some comments, or at the end, we'll also have some comments. I would like to, however, go next to Tal Zilverberg, who's the founder of Green Book USA and also the executive director for Global Chamber Tel Aviv. Since October 7th, it has been obviously very occupied and preoccupied, and as all Israelis and all of us around the world are, regarding the crisis and the war and the terrorism that they've been impacted by. Definitely want to see that end. In the meantime, we want to support Israeli businesses. We want to continue for preparation for the recovery after the war. Tal, could you give us a sense of trade that's going on today? How has it been impacted over the last several months? And what else would you like to share today, please?
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much, Doug and Jeff and all of you. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here. I'm staying in a place that it's not, the war is, we can feel it in many aspects, but we don't have a lot of missile attack on our city, specifically here. On October 7th, we found ourselves in a very unpleasant situation. Unfortunately, we have a lot of casualties here in Israel. Businesses, of course, everybody, as probably some of you or most of you know, everybody are in the reserve force. Everybody under 45 are in the reserve force. So even teachers, female, male teachers, the mailman, the secretary, the CEO, everybody. So immediately, all of us were drafted into the army. This was affecting our economy significantly because everything was stopped. Also, especially in the construction sector and real estate, we're having more than 250,000 Palestinian workers from the West Bank, from Gaza, that working in Israel. I don't know if a lot of you know, but this is a very, very significant workforce, and we're giving them work in their building, in the construction. So everything, all this sector was stopped. And as you know, real estate and construction are the main engines of the economy, because everything is it's like a domino. Everything is relied on this. And to authorize overseas workers from different countries, it's something that takes time. And of course, nobody is standing in line to come to a war zone. So this is something that affected our economy very much. And of course, the small businesses, the medium businesses, everybody is keeping their money to themselves because they don't know what's going to happen. But as Roberto mentioned in the beginning of this conversation, we don't have any place else to go. So I think that Israel is the only country when there is war, everybody is coming into Israel. So we have people that were in South America, Australia, that were touring after the army, and they came back home. Even people from the States, a lot of people from the United States came, even though they have two nationalities, and they came here to fight. And this is something that we don't have any choice. So we started to do it step by step. Of course, the high-tech industry is trying to show business as usual, because in difference with the COVID, actually the world is continuing to do its stuff, and we're stuck in here with a different reality. So we're trying to transmit the business as usual, and we're doing everything in our part to compensate for this situation. I can tell you that it's easy times because we have a lot of people that we know. We received horrible news about two kidnapped that were killed in the Hamas captivity. Two of them actually are family members of a very good and close friend of mine that I'm meeting with him every day, almost. So it was a very sad, and we had a lot of those kind of noticed and announcements. But we're trying to look on the bright side and see the light. And what we can do is we have a lot of people that are qualified in different professions. So if you are looking for I don't know, specific jobs that you can work remotely. We can give this option and connect you to people like this. Regarding commerce is continuing, but in a very low scale. Also, we have the Suez canal that is blocked by the Yemen Houthis. And as you probably know from the States, the US is also involved in this specific region. And this is the situation. Take it or, plus or minus. And what we can do is, if you have any request, we can connect to the right people. We still can offer our brain, our mind, our skills that can do remotely. Regarding the commerce, it's in a low scale, as I mentioned, and it's not that stable. But in different things, we can contribute. And Israel will be here. I think that we got into this war that we didn't want to in a very good economic position. We were just rated fourth in the OECD as one of the strongest economies. So we entered this crisis in it sounds odd, but we came in this crisis strong. So I think that when it will end, we will still have a strong economy. And we have nowhere else to go as Jewish people. So we're here to stay, and we're here to continue contributing to the world in science, in tech, in agri-tech, in every aspect and field that we can do. And I can connect you to any business or any idea that you wish. We still have a lot of contacts that working in Israel. Not everything is work like it's mostly in the south. The picture will change if there will be opening a northern front. North front is a different game with Hezbollah and the Shia militias, and this will be a different game. But for the moment, we're still working like 50%. In my business, for example, what we did, we're using this time to evolve. So I'm my company providing interactive and innovative products to companies. We're developing apps. So we develop, for example, an app that helps small businesses, medium businesses to create coupons and digital tickets very easily, and to do like affiliate programs from their phones. So this is like a pivoting for our company that usually did something else, and we're reaching different markets. I think that every crisis makes you go stronger if you can see the good things in it. War is always bad, but you can also look in the other side and get stronger. And this is. And I wish to thank all the global chambers that stand with us, and of course the U.S. that our good allies that helps us a lot. So thank you, and thank you for having me today.
Thanks, Tal. Just one quick question and then open up the floor to others. The question being, what's going to happen when the war is over? When do you have a time frame, a rough time frame of when you think that'll be? And then what would we expect to happen at that time?
I wish to give a different angle, maybe not that politically correct. Israel contains Muslims, Christians, and Jews that most of them wants to live in peace. We don't have anything with the Palestinian people. We do have things with Hamas, which is a terror organization. And in the West, we don't know how to talk with the terror organization because they are not speaking the same language as the world that wish and seeks for life. So when people are talking with us about the day after, they are thinking in different paradigmas. They're thinking in different ways. Something that if you don't live here, you cannot comprehend because they don't mind to sacrifice all their population. If Israel wanted to end this war, we can do October 8th. One day we can finish with our army and the power. We're doing everything in our power not to hurt civilian people. But the terror organizations that it's not only in Gaza, also to control on the our perspective, the good life-seeking Lebanese and Syrians, and they are doing. This is something that we cannot talk with because their agenda, they're preferring death over life, and what we cannot put a finger on when this is going to end. And I think that the day after, everybody telling about different entities that going to control the Gaza Strip, for example. But as long as you're teaching in the education system how to hate Jews and to exterminate them, I don't think that we can give anyone any chance to control the Gaza border unless they are the IDF. Unfortunately, we lived the Gaza Strip. When I was young in 2005, I was a military police special forces. I was the one that evicted people and from their houses, tree settlements, and everybody wanted to become Singapore of the Middle East. And I just download an article that happened right after the separation from Gaza, that everybody wished that now we left Gaza with airport, we left Gaza with the harbor and seaport, and we wanted that to like Singapore, everything will be amazing, and everybody was in this conception. But unfortunately, everybody knows that we're all the time have clashes, and we wish we're seeking for peace, but you cannot deal peace with terror organization. So something need to be changed, and hopefully it will happen.
Thank you. What other questions?
And if somebody is offended by my things, this is my perspective. So I'm truly sorry.
Oh, it's great. And I love the analogy in contrast with Singapore, where they had strong leadership in Lee Kuan Yew, and who was a strong leader, some say autocratic, and certainly had those kind of leanings. However, he had a vision for Singapore that was clearly successful with what the country has been able to do. And so the contrast with Gaza is striking. Any thoughts or questions, please?
Can you see this? This is an article from 2005 when we withdrew from Gaza Strip, and I will translate in Hebrew. Soon, Gaza Strip will be competing with Singapore. Industry instead of terror. This is where industrial park will be built in the Gaza Strip. So this is what we mentioned to do. We actually evicted everyone. No one Jew stayed in the Gaza Strip.
Amazing. Any thoughts, please, from anyone? Questions? And feel free to circle back with Tal through the program. Thank you, Tal.
I just want to say Boker Tov, Laila Tov. My thoughts are with you daily. My cousin's serving, and there isn't a second that I don't think of you guys, that you're not in my thoughts and my prayers. And I put in the chat for everybody, if you want literally a minute by minute report of what's going on inside Israel that you're not going to hear in the daily news, I urge you to download the Red Alert app. It's called Sofar, T as in Tom, Zofar. I put it in the chat. I had that on my phone when I was in Israel in May, and I never took it off, thankfully. And what you'll see is all the incomings that you never hear about, and you will understand that the people of Israel are not sleeping. They can't. Anyways, I would urge you to download it.
Yeah. Thanks, Anita.
Thanks, Anita. Let's now go. Maybe what we'll do, Claire, if you could hold on, let's do Los Angeles next. And so if there's anything else, Jeff, that you wanted to talk about relative to Israel, Los Angeles trade, or Anita, or I see Elizabeth on the call, and there's some others who are in Los Angeles and have been doing trade between Israel and Los Angeles for quite a while. And any comments from the LA side?
Well, we haven't really talked too much about the drop in, I'm sure, in tourism. I don't know the numbers, but that's huge because that's a big issue for Israel, and a lot of people from LA would be going to Israel right now, probably, who may not be. I'm also just concerned about making sure we hear from everybody else. And I will just note we have 30 people, fantastic, and we need to do more of this, and we need to connect more. So.
Fantastic. Thanks. Anita or Elizabeth, did you have any other comments before we move on to Claire?
With regards to meetups, just want to let everybody know that we have a monthly now Import-Export Forum. It's an ongoing conversation about anything and everything having to do with importing and exporting. So even if you're not currently in importing or exporting, but you'd like to get into it, I would urge you to jump on the conversation. It's the 4th Thursday of the month, so January 25th coming up. Jeff Dar will be one of our speakers. I'll be interviewing people, and then we'll have a conversation. And Jermeel Lewis Johnson, who is a customs broker, will be the other interviewee. So please join us. Make it, put it on your calendar for every Thursday at noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be 10 p.m. at night for Israel. So maybe we'll throw in a couple times a year something that works much better for your part of the world. But hope you can join us.
Yeah, I think so. Once a month, and is it a third Thursday, or which do we have a fourth Thursday? Thank you. Claire, Anita, and Elizabeth, and Jeff are on the Global Chamber Los Angeles Advisory Board, and so is Claire Shao. She's the principal U.S. representative for Invest Shanghai, and so we're also proud, Claire, to have you on our advisory board. Thank you for your leadership. China and the U.S. are the top two trading countries in the world. Both have certainly growth opportunity continued. This last year was the first year in, I think, 20 years that the U.S. actually had a higher growth rate than China. There are certainly some challenges around the world, and China got kind of wrapped around the spokes on some of those. But China remains, and Shanghai remains, a tremendous potential for business growth going forward. So much opportunity, and Claire is going to frame up a few minutes conversation about business there relative to not just the world, but specifically to Los Angeles and Israel and other key aspects of opportunities. Claire, thank you for sharing today.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for invitation and good day to you all. Greetings from Shanghai. I'm so honored to present Shanghai at today's meetup. I think it's very happy to hear Tar's introduction for the situation in Tel Aviv in this difficult time. I think the world is interconnected. Actually, everyone look forward to the peace life, and we can live peaceful and doing business and live happily. The first of all, I would like to share some new cooperations between Shanghai and California with Shanghai and Los Angeles. Because our office in the United States is focused on fostering the connections between Shanghai and the key American cities. And so the situation between Shanghai and the United States is what we are focused on. And we are honored to see some achievements recently. In last October, when California Governor Newsom visited China, he had a meeting with Shanghai Mayor Gong Zheng and signed a new MOU on climate change. And also recently, the Shanghai and the Los Angeles port jointly announced a green shipping corridor MOU initiative aimed to reduce the emission along this busiest global trade route. I think it is the awareness to the environmental sustainability. Both of our cities are trying our best to make efforts to mitigate the climate change impacts. And such collaborations are crucial in balancing economic growth and sustainable practice. Both Shanghai and LA as a leading economic region, we are all, both of us are committed to
Claire, it looks like you're muted.
You're muted, Claire. You got muted.
She muted herself. There we go.
okay. I'm muted all the time or just a few minutes?
Oh no, just 10 seconds. Just
10
very short.
seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. So and in this May, Shanghai, California Business Forum will be held again in Los Angeles. And this year, Shanghai will be the honor city of this year's event. Shanghai Mayor will bring a delegation to participate. During the event, we plan to arrange the practical matchmaking session and hope to see more US companies to join. Yeah, to find the business opportunity. And Shanghai is recognized as a global city. I think it's due to its significant influence actually in many aspects. We have the robust economy, diverse talent pool, and the status as a gateway to the Chinese market. Our commitment to the innovation and the sustainable development, and also the blend of Eastern and Western cultures makes it an appealing destination for global businesses looking to expand their reach in Asia. Shanghai is a key parameter for China's economy and a significant window for the world to observe China's progress. In 2022, the city achieved a total GDP of 660 billion US dollar, ranking as the sixth largest city globally. It not only reflects the economic growth, but also its role as a dynamic hub. Shanghai's status as an international harbor is a significant aspect of its identity as a global city. It has maintained the first position of having the world's highest annual container throughput for over a decade, particularly highlighted by the fact that the shipping route between Shanghai and Los Angeles is one of the busiest in the world. It reflects Shanghai's economic power as well as its attractiveness as a business and the trade hub, providing unmatched connectivity and access to global markets. Shanghai is one of the largest financial cities also in the world, and the city's financial markets have reached a transaction volume of nearly 300 trillion RMB. The remarkable scale of transaction shows its influence in global finance, attracted international investment, banking, and financial services. Shanghai's reputation as an international metropolis owes much to its foreign investment. Here we are top choice, one of the top choice for the global businesses come to our city. There are more than 70,000 foreign-funded companies in Shanghai. Among them, over 900 regional headquarters of multinational corporations, like Tesla. From California, we have Tesla, Barbie, and we have a lot of those famous companies. And like when the companies contribute to, we appreciate those companies needs to contribute to Shanghai's economy. I think they also found their success in China market. Like Tesla, since Tesla established its Gigafactory in Shanghai, they have achieved a remarkable success. And the Shanghai factory produces an EV every 40 seconds. Actually, more than half of the Tesla vehicle worldwide were from Shanghai factory now. And meanwhile, Chinese consumers like to buy Tesla. Make in China is the second largest market for Tesla vehicle. And another example, like Sam's Club. We have 6 stores of Sam's Club in Shanghai, one of which recorded the highest sales globally in 2022, with the revenue of 3.5 billion RMB just in one single store. So the Chinese market is huge and the potential. They offer the global businesses to success there, to make their to make business there. And Shanghai also take pride in gathering many cutting-edge innovation institutions. Among them, we also can see the foreign-funded company play a important role. More than 500 foreign-funded R&D centers established themselves in Shanghai. And here, this is the chief brief of Shanghai. We always look forward to connect ourselves to other cities, to global cities. Thank you again for offering me such a valuable opportunity to share Shanghai. I think we will continue efforts to be an integral part of the global market. Thank you.
Great comments, Claire. Thank you very much. 2 quick questions, and then I'll open up the floor. First of all, when will you be back in Los Angeles? And then number 2 is that a deer on the wall behind you? Is that a Chinese deer?
The first is I am in Los Angeles. This deer is from Los Angeles.
Oh,
It's a
okay. I
Los
thought you
Angeles
said,
deer.
I got you. Very good. So that's an American deer. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Are you a hunter or do you just like deer?
It is just the painting, but I really like it very much.
Okay, very good.
Mhm.
That's great. Any questions for Claire, please? Just unmute yourself and go ahead.
When is the forum in Los Angeles? Do you have dates yet?
Excuse me?
What is the date for the business forum?
The date is it will be held on. We are discussing it with GoBiz, who will be the organizer of this event. And now we put it the date at May 20th. It's Monday.
Thank you.
But we will publish the new information later. I'm not sure if the date will change a little bit around but it must be in May.
Thank you, Claire. Any other questions or comments, please? And hearing none, thank you, Claire. We're gonna be finishing up in about 23 minutes, and hopefully we can get around to everybody. I know, Roberto, you've got some data that you pulled together for Phoenix, Israel. Could you share that, please?
I'll be delighted. Let me see if I can share the screen. So, okay, can you all see this here?
We can, yep.
Awesome, that's awesome. And just know that if you want to have a copy, because we don't have a lot of time, I want to go briefly through the highlight. But if you want to get a copy, ask the Global Chamber or ask us directly, and we'll send you a free copy for this here. So Doug, I really learned a lot that actually I didn't know. And believe it or not, I do business with Israel on a daily basis. But a lot of this information is very interesting. First of all, to actually provide you any information in terms of what is the size of the business that the trade between Israel and Arizona, about $700 million a year. Now, the interesting thing is, what is the composition of it? What we are exporting from Phoenix and Arizona to Israel are semiconductors, electronic components, aerospace and product parts, and navigating, measuring, electromedical, and control instruments. What do we import from Israel includes semiconductors, commercial and service, industry machinery, and other elements. Now, what I learned is that there is a tremendous amount of support in terms of funding and in terms of grants. And one of the organizations that provides funding is the Arizona Israel Technology Alliance, which has actually worked with Arizona universities and university companies for the purpose of bringing more technology from Israel to the US. Let me see. In 2022, the Arizona Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Federation of Israeli Chambers of Commerce signed a memorandum of understanding, which actually has some real serious implications. So if you want to do business with Israel, one of the best way to do is contact the Arizona Chamber of Commerce. They will provide you a copy of the memorandum of the MOU, and then you'll be in a very better position to do business with Israel. Please note an organization called BIRD, B-I-R-D, and you'll find information when you ask for it, but it really provides a tremendous amount of support for companies in technology. University of Ben Gurion created a relationship with the University of Arizona, with the National Autónoma de Mexico. They launched a program of research engagement, and they provided some incredible results in terms of agricultural control. I mean, it's incredible the amount of work we have done with Israel. Now, what's really interesting is that Arizona happens to be one of the 33 states They actually have a written cooperative agreement with Israel, and Arizona is the 7th state in the U.S. ranking in export to Israel. So there is a tremendous amount of activity. These are grants Arizona received. Growth of infected plants. You can get that. You can get that. Okay. The thing that is important is that just so that you know, the reality, they are just the number of companies in Phoenix. They're doing a very substantial amount of work with Israel, and they've done it for years. One is Gilbert Engineering, that have been providing cable television connectors to Israel. One is White Microelectronics, which is a manufacturer of memory and microprocessing products. One is Ace Aviation, that provides spare parts for airplanes. And one is Litton System. This is just an example of some of the companies. Just concluding, there are two organizations that you can contact for doing more business with Israel, both export and import. One is the Jewish Community Relationship Council, and one is the Jewish Federation Greater Phoenix Council. And that is very brief on relationship between Phoenix and between Israel. Incredible. I actually have literally a 12-page report on scientific co-development, Tal, and that's why I would like to send it directly to you, because there's a tremendous amount of opportunity for many companies in Israel.
Thank you, Roberto. And I think, part of it is there's a variety of reasons why that works, and certainly some of it is the climate that has gotten Israel and Arizona connected. The Bird Foundation and the Bird Group through the University of Arizona definitely is a great resource, and we have a member who's very involved in that. So please, if you're interested in that, let me know. And then the Semicon on the trade side, both in and out of Israel and of Arizona, our next semiconductor summit, it's the 3rd annual. And we don't have any Israeli speakers yet, but we probably should. This one is going to be more global than the first two. It's been sponsored by the Japanese government, and they've been allowed us now to involve other countries other than Taiwan, including South Korea. And so we're finalizing that piece of it. But we also have another dozen or so countries that will be participating on the 23rd of February. Friday, February 23rd, both in person in Phoenix at our headquarters and also virtually. You can participate in that. So feel free to participate either as a speaker if you're interested. Let me know, or just attend. Thank you, Roberto. Any questions for Roberto? Or we have about 15 minutes left. I'd just like to open up the floor either for questions for Roberto or continue to go around the room now. We haven't heard really from London or Chicago, and I see a couple people from London and a few people from Chicago. If any of you would like to speak about your business with LA and Israel, that would be awesome as well. So feel free to just unmute yourself and speak. Anybody have any comments, please? I see Lothar from Southern Illinois, but he's on our advisory board in Chicago. And certainly you're involved in, I'm sure, both the LA community and also Israel. So thank you for all that you do for our chapter. We're looking to start the Springfield, Illinois chapter in April of next year, in addition to the Chicago chapter. And you've been instrumental in that. Thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. And maybe I can say something about something new going on in Central Illinois, since you introduced me.
Sure. What have you got?
Central Illinois Tech Triangle. It's a pro bono activity on the part of ZG Worldwide about joining all the silos in economic development in Central Illinois to have a brand for the entire region. Recently, there has been a development in the eastern part of Central Illinois, in Champaign and Macon counties. The economic development corporations in those two counties have joined to form Illinois Ag Tech Corridor. So now we have that going on. but I can't really find out much about it. It's been developed with Archer Daniels Midland Corporation. There's a big focus on biotechnology. So, the local state senator in Springfield has been involved with that, and she says that she has asked them to extend it to Springfield and perhaps Peoria. So this may be a truly regional effort to have a whole Illinois ag tech corridor go all the way to Peoria and Springfield from Champaign. I don't know, but it is progress, slow progress. So I just wanted to mention that. And Israel is very
Congratulations.
much into ag tech. So what we're thinking is, there may be Israeli companies that might be interested in being a part of something like that because of all the ag tech going on in Israel.
Thank you for bringing up agricultural opportunities. Certainly that's the case in Israel. Tal, if you'd like to make any comments on that, that would be great. Illinois mirrors California in the sense that LA is not necessarily an agricultural center. However, California is, and the capital of California, Sacramento, is absolutely an agricultural center. And just as in Illinois, Chicago is not necessarily known for agriculture, although meatpacking, and my family actually landed in the U.S., part of it in the meatpacking industry. But Springfield is very agricultural. If you read President Obama's autobiography, he was a state senator in Illinois before he became a local state senator, meaning, for the whole state. And he learned a lot about agriculture and dealing with farmers. And that's a critical aspect in California, Illinois, and probably in Israel as well. Tal, do you have any connections to the ag industry in Israel? And do you want to make any comments?
Actually, I think that there is an opportunity because in the northern border, there are a lot of egg farmers that deal with it, and because of the situation, a lot of places were hit by missiles, so they vanished the whole industry. And there are people that probably will be very interested in order to implement their knowledge in this industry. So I can check and see. I think that there can be connection over there.
Thank you. I saw. Oh, he's not there anymore. Oh yeah, no, there he is. Brian. You've become more industrial oriented and more Latin America oriented. However, through your background, including with the SBDC or the business centers there, you've touched agriculture and you've touched business more globally, if you will, in the Chicago area. Did you have any comments based on some of the things you've heard today?
Well, I guess just a couple of tidbits here. First of all, as I put in the chat, although I'm part of the Chicago Chamber, coincidentally, I was in Los Angeles over the weekend for my son's volleyball tournament. So we enjoyed our time there, and especially the warmer weather, as it is -8 here right now. And then secondly, I wanted to mention to Claire, I don't know if you're already connected or not, but both the U.S. Commercial Service as well as the state of Illinois, they both have offices in Shanghai. And in fact, I think they are co-located in the same building.
Yes, I have. And the lady Mary Ma.
Yes, Mary Ma.
Yeah, yeah, we are good friends.
Yes, and Mary Ma, besides working for the state, she was very connected with the Small Business Development Center network as well in Illinois.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing, Brian.
Sure.
Does anybody else have any comments? I see some folks who haven't spoken yet, including, Brian mentioned he's part of Global Chamber Chicago Advisory Board. So thank you for your leadership there. I see Andy with the e-mobility summit that's coming up in Barcelona. Thank you for your leadership there. I know there's a seminar coming up. that it might be worth mentioning. Chris, and thank you for your leadership with the MLK Day. Not just yesterday, but through Dream Week now going on in San Antonio. One of the things we learned yesterday is that San Antonio, Texas has the largest Dr. Martin Luther King holiday parade and celebration of any city in the world. So thank you for your involvement and your leadership there. Dave Binsfeld, I see, who's on our Global Chamber Phoenix Advisory Board in the insurance industry. Thank you. Deborah Young, who's also on our Los Angeles Advisory Board and very familiar with Colorado. Ivan, who's a leader in the Cincinnati chapter, and I think is taking over for the advisory board. And let's circle back on that because we put together an SOP on that has had a first iteration, and we're getting into the second iteration. Would love to share that with you. Edmundo is also, he's on the Phoenix Advisory Board, involved with technology. We mentioned Elizabeth earlier, and Furby's here in the room, and Fernando, who's out of Madrid. Thank you for joining and for your leadership. Anybody else would, Shane, hey, Shane, can you say anything? Shane Jacobs is with Safeguard Global. It's headquartered in Austin, and they've got locations all around the world helping companies with the EOR, but also HR services and building teams around the world. Shane happens to be based in Arizona, is a longtime supporter of Global Chamber, is also on our advisory board for Phoenix. I don't know how much you've heard here today about the Tel Aviv business, LA, Shanghai, and Phoenix that we've talked about. Is there anything that you'd like to share, young man?
Yes, thank you so much. And today I've been more of an observer and listening and educating myself. But as Safeguard Global, we're very mindful of the situations that are going on as we have our employees, ourselves, and our clients' employees in these impact areas. And so providing support, reassurance to those individuals and employees, and then helping companies navigate that. Even going back to Ukraine, when there was a lot of displaced workers, helping them find the employment in other countries. So we're very mindful of that and are just monitoring that with our regional teams elsewhere. So I'm grateful for this forum where I can learn more and then pass that education on to my team. So thank you, everybody, for your support.
Thanks for all that you do, and hope to see you. We have our Innovation Summit in Phoenix on Thursday. We have the Semiconductor Summit in February. And then the Global Chamber Phoenix Advisory Board has a strategic session. We've never done one of those, probably for any chapter, 3 hours at NAI Horizon, led by Jeffrey Garza Walker. On Monday. I'm not sure what's going to happen. It's going to be facilitated by Diana White. I don't think the world will change, but maybe our actions will change and hopefully be more impactful. So hope to see you there, and anybody that's involved with the advisory board in Phoenix. We've got a few more minutes. Anything else before we close the room? Just unmute yourself and please go ahead. Don't be shy.
My name is John Dunlop, and I'm with iTrade Digital. I work for Elizabeth Glenn, and this is my first time here as a guest, and thank you very much. This is wonderful. I'll see you next time.
Thank you, John. And I think we've spoken, and Elizabeth, is an extraordinary leader. She is so well connected in California. And I remember meeting her a few years ago, and she's been a member for a few years, and she was very connected to the state of California. And subsequently, we had trouble connecting to the state, but two things happened. One is Jeff Williamson left the state and he joined the Ant Group, China-based Ant Group, and now he's a member of Global Chamber, and he's also on our San Francisco advisory board. I think San Francisco or LA, maybe LA, but he's based in San Francisco. And then the other thing is we did the World Korea Business Convention in Anaheim and was supporting the Korean supporters of that, including NGL Transportation, who's a longtime member, and we met GoBiz. And they're not that hard to work with, or at least they were very collaborative and supportive. And so we'll have some things to announce, I'm sure, going forward. Elizabeth, you've been quiet. Are you still there? Is there anything else that you would like to say?
I'm still here. It's good to be here. It's good to see this integration and collaboration among so many cities. This is great.
And we hope Elizabeth is going to help lead the charge to cooperate with the Los Angeles Port Authority and bring digital trade globally, starting with the LA port. We'll keep posted on that.
Yes.
Fantastic. Yeah. The Port of LA is a member of Global Chamber, and recently the Port of Long Beach is joining. So that's kind of good because there are as many, certainly those of us in the region know they're side by side and account for a very high percentage of incoming trade and trade overall in the United States. We've got a couple more minutes left. Anybody else have any comments? And maybe I'd certainly like to hear from Jeff Dar before we close. Is that say 58 or 56? 56.
56.
Jeff, would you like to make any final comments from a LA perspective before we close?
I think we need to do more of these. I put in the chat, I have to run because I have a 9:20 appointment. That's a 15-minute drive.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I'm gonna excuse myself, but based on today, let's do more of these and let's try to do them and keep them as interactive and even more so than this. And I will leave it at that. And I feel free for anyone to reach out to me. And I put in the chat information. The full programs will be up in a moment. Global Chamber sponsored event, California International Arbitration Week. And we will have 4 days of in-person and virtual of the most amazing speakers from around the world, including China, including quite a few arbitral institutions who are involved, and also from London, also from you name the place, on why your business should be aware of and considering when doing cross-border commercial transactions, international arbitration, and its connection to California. So.
And that is on the Global Chamber website, and you can sign up soon for that. Certainly learn about it. In the meantime, Larry Hart, Global Chamber Cincinnati, thank you for joining today. Any comments based on what you've seen here today?
No, I love these things, as you know. Good to see everybody. We got a good thing going on here in Cincinnati. We had a special guest on earlier who just left a minute ago, and you pointed out Ivan a few minutes ago. Ivan, you may want to connect with Deborah. Ivan, you still there?
It doesn't look like. Oh, there he is.
I'm right here. Sorry. No video today, Doug. Sorry. I know you missed me.
I don't know. We like to say Ivan's got a great face for radio, so maybe that he's got a great face for video calls too.
Yes, absolutely.
Anyway, you and Deborah are in a similar business. I was reading in the chat, Ivan, so be sure to check that out. Okay.
Fantastic. We'll do.
Yeah, that could be a great connection. Sorry, I didn't see it earlier. So I think that brings us to the end. Ling, I don't think we heard from you. Do you want to just say hi?
Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. Somebody mentioned COVID. I actually recovering from COVID. Got it. I didn't last year. So I'm fine. Thank you. Life and well. And I'm my company, Legit Funding, is a digital marketplace for working capital financing. And nowadays we spend a lot of time in Asia to help the Asian exporters to the United States, developed countries, because U.S. government is doing a great job promoting U.S. exporters. But Asia is a pretty underserved market. So look forward to any connection there. So good to be here. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you. And final word, we'll kind of tie the bow on today's conversation along with yesterday's Martin Luther King Day celebration that we had. Sarer is on the call, and Nihi I saw earlier. Both were part of the conversation yesterday. Sarer is in Somaliland, and Nihi is in Lagos, Nigeria, and they were part of quite a large group of people that we had yesterday talking about opportunities in Africa, but also the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King and what he's meant for each of us for service and for impacting the world in a progressive way, which is something that we need to continue to do. Trade is part of that. The more we do trade, the more we talk with each other and negotiate and mediate. And that's quite contrary to what Tal has spoken about relative to the terrorism that Israel has faced and other people around the world face on a daily basis. So let's continue to trade, and that certainly has a positive impact. I'd like to thank Jeff, who's had to leave because of the doctor appointment. Claire Shao, you gave some really great information, great introduction to Shanghai. There'll be more from there. Tal Zilverberg, who's our executive director in Tel Aviv. Thank you for your leadership and your perseverance, and we support you 100%. And the right for people everywhere in the world to live free and free from terrorism. Thank you all for participating today, and we'll catch you the next time. I think the next event is the book session tomorrow. So thanks, everybody. Take care.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Take care.
All right, be safe, Tal.